Everybody, how's it going? You know, I'm not doing too bad myself. It's, close to summer time, pool time. Now that we have one, it's a great time. Last year it wasn't, but it'd be all cabin time. But now we have a choice. It's just me today. Mike Kelly is still camping. And he's like, I only have one bar. I'm like, that's pretty sad. We have to go to the same bar all the time. Anyway, that's pretty much what he does here anyway. Pete Wetts first. All right. So, shocking news today. I mean, what I mean by this is the bond market is not reacting the way that we all thought it would react with the CPI numbers who came in yesterday, lower than expected. PPI numbers came in today. Again, another thing lower than expected. So we're don't understand why the bond market is not reacting. And when I say bond, you say rates. All right, because bond. Okay. Anyway, uh, so we were looking at the numbers, and the consumer price inflex for inflation yesterday came in. This is what we were looking at. 4.9 year over year, 5.5. The market was expecting certain things. Well, where are we at with my bond? I have too many banners here today. Stocks on blah blah blah. Headline. All right. So this is yesterday. Bonds sold off, even though this happened, and everybody's going scratching their heads, going, "Why is the bonds reacting this way yesterday?" Well, they're doing the same thing today with the favorable PPI report. We had some analysts speak out over the last day or so, and their sentiment was the same thing. The disappointment and significant inflation decline is surprising because we saw a major inflation decline more than we expected, and the bonds are not reacting the normally way they should. I mean, if you look at the CPI numbers from yesterday, the shelter costs heavily impacted those. If they would exclude them, it would result in a 2% year over year increase and a 1.6 annualized raise over the last 6 months, which is so much lower than we expected. Inflation is falling at a good pace, and shelter costs, if they were replaced with real time numbers, we would see that. But unfortunately, we always are looking 2 months back. And if we looked at that and took those numbers out, we'd be at a 2%, and the core inflation would be a 1.5. So we'll eventually get there, but we're just really shaking our heads and scratching them, going, what the heck is going on? That's the producer price index today showed a decrease of 0.3% in producer inflation, lower than the 1/10% drop. So we 3 times as much as they thought, and we're still having the bonds react differently. When I say bonds, you say rates. And where is it at right now? We are up 13 basis points. Normally we should be much higher than that, but we're not. The core numbers that came in exclude food and energy prices rose 0.2 in lines with their estimate. Maybe that's the reason. So inflation declined 3.2% to 2.8% year over year. That's pretty getting close to their number that they want. Again, it's the auto parts retailing, those used car stuff is what's causing most 40% of it. The biggest thing we're waiting for today is what the Fed says, what Jerome Powell says is a meeting, and also, are they done? They're going to pause. They're going to raise, pause, and then raise. We're waiting to hear what they say, and that's at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 11 Pacific for those of you. And again, they're expected not to hike rates, but the language that they use is the most important thing. We've known this before. Attention is going to give to what their new projections are, the Fed funds rate, that kind of stuff. And I know we all know this, but we're all, again, shocking, not understanding what's going on with the bond market reacting the way it did. And like I said, when I say bonds, you say rates. So rates are not improving as much as we thought they would. And again, rule of the thumb is if you're good with as good as you can be with today's payments, you need to just lock it, move on, and not worry about seeing if rates can improve while you're in contract. Just lock it so it doesn't get worse. You're going to be refinancing over the next couple of years, a few times possibly. But that's all I wanted to go over today. Mike will be back on Friday. We'll have our slapstick on Friday, and he'll bring in the actual numbers for the week. I'll remind him that I told you guys that. But other than that, that's pretty much what we're seeing right now. Is shocking. The numbers came out good, but bonds are not reacting the way we thought they would. All right, everybody, make it a great day, and we will talk to you on Friday.